This conference will now be recorded.
Right. Let's start today's session. In the last session of Python, we just started with we completed with encapsulation, that is using private variables and private methods. How to restrict our variables and methods we were discussed in the last session. And today I'm going to start with another important feature of object-oriented programming, that in this session I'm going to discuss about implementing inheritance, how to implement inheritance, where what situation is required to implement inheritance, we'll discuss. Let me open your project first. Right. So generally, inheritance is the process of providing or creating new class from existing class, I said. Inheritance is the process of creating new class from existing class. Okay. So in inheritance process, existing class is treated as base class or parent class, or base class or parent class or super class also we can treat. Newly class new class is treated as what derived class. Derived class or child class, or um, subclass, we can call it as. In inheritance process, existing class is treated as base class or parent class or super class. New class is treated as derived class or child class or subclass only. The main advantage of inheritance is reusability, code reusability and extensibility. So that means once we create a base class, in that whatever implementation we have, okay, total implementation, that implementation we can able to reuse directly in the child class only. So that is reusability. And extensibility means base class functionality or child class functionality we can extend into other class functionality also. Means one child class is extended from base class, and from the child class again few more child classes we can also extend it. That is extensibility. So there are different types of inheritances are there. One is single inheritance, single, and next one is multi-level, and next multiple. Sorry, hierarchical inheritance is there. Hierarchical inheritance. Next multiple, then hybrid. These are the inheritances are available. Hybrid inheritance. First, we'll discuss exactly in what situation inheritance we can implement. So assume that there is some X company. That X company people are having so many branches in the city. There is some X company. That X company people are having so many branches in the city. So they are asking to computerize their branch details. Okay. So they are asking to computerize their branch details. So from our programmer side, we have to implement branch details. So that's what we have to write code like this. Let's go for class creation. This is. So now I'm creating one more program like test 14. Now you can see here I'm creating one class. Class name is called branch. In this branch class, I'm asking methods only. Get branch data. Get branch data as a method. Method name can be of any name, you know that. Any name you can use, no issues. And in this method, I'm just taking branch fields like branch code equals to int of input of. So I should say enter branch code. Enter branch code, I can say that. Next self dot b name equals to input of. Enter branch name. Self dot b address equals to input of. Enter branch address, I can say that. This is what. So this is get underscore branch data function. When we call this function, it will ask you enter branch code, branch name, branch address. Like at the same time, I want to implement display this same display branch data or branch details. It's a method name, sir. Get branch data and display branch data are methods. That method names you can take any names as per your requirement. So just I'm printing here branch code is comma self dot b code branch code, it is print branch name is comma self dot b name, print branch address is self dot b address, I can say that. Next here, after implementing this branch class code, we need to create object for branch class. B is a branch class object, branch is a class. So using this object, we can call the method get branch data and display branch data. That's all. So as per company requirement, some X company I said no. According to that requirement, we implement branch details logic. So we are executing this. When we execute, we are calling first b dot get branch data. So we have to provide branch code. Okay, so branch name, branch address. So we got this branch address, all those things. Okay, so coming to this, later, same X company people are asking to computerize their employee details also. So initially they were asking to computerize their branch details. So we implement branch class, branch functionalities like this. And later they were asking to computerize their employee details. Okay. So how to access employee details, we'll see now. So again, I'm going to prepare total code. I'm just copying and pasting into here because to computerize their employee details. So here I'm taking employee class, get emp data, get emp data, display emp data, display emp data. So here you can see emp id, employee id. So we have to use enter employee id, e name, enter employee name, next e address, enter employee address. enter employee address. Next here, display EMP data. So employee ID is EMP ID is EMP name, EMP address. Just I'm editing self.emp ID, e name, e address, like that. So we also included employee class and employee functionalities. Now we have to we have to create object for employee. E is object of employee class. E dot get emp data. E dot display emp data. Okay. So first we created branch class because company people are asking to computerize their branch details, and we create branch class object and we got the branch details. Then later company people are asking employee class, employee details. So we created employee class and we created object for employee object, and we are calling the employee methods like this. Once I start running, you can see this. Enter branch code. Branch code is just, I'm taking branch name is SR Nagar. Branch address is Hyderabad, I'm taking. And employee ID is 1234. Employee name is SI. Sai. Employee address is Amirpet, like this. So we got branch details as well as employee details. Fine. So it is okay. So according to company requirement, now it is okay. But what later the company people are asking, so they want to know which employee belongs to which branch. So they were asking initially just for implementation of their branch details as well as employee details. But now then later they are asking to computerize it their which employee belongs to which branch. Which employee belongs to which branch they're asking. So if you do like separate implementation, like branch class separate and then employee class separate, okay. So employee class separate, branch class separate, then we cannot get that which employee belongs to which branch. So that's the reason we have to do inheritance. So inheritance means this is, so creating new class from single base class is called single inheritance. Now you can see this is what branch class, this is what employee class. So initially what they were asking branch class, we prepared branch class, branch functionality also we implemented. Then later what they were asking employee class, now you can see employee details also we implemented. Now this employee class inherited from branch class now. So whenever we inherited like this, means automatically branch class will become what class, parent class. And employee class will become what? Child class. So branch will become branch class will become parent class, employee class will become child class. Okay, it is perfect. Now coming to this here. Now coming to this. So in this class, actually company requirement is which they want to know which which employee belongs to which branch. If you want to arrange that information like which employee belongs to which information, which branch, then we must and should do inheritance. This is single inheritance. Single inheritance means creating new class from single base class. This is single inheritance. Creating new class from single base class is called single inheritance. Creating new class from single base class. Here single base class is what? Branch only. New class is employee. But right now at this moment in our programming, there is no relation between this class and this class. Okay, that's what we are getting individually separate details, like branch details separate, employee details separate, we are getting individually. But what we need to do, we have to arrange the inheritance. How to do? Now you can see coding part inheritance is employee class is inherited from branch like this. This is the inheritance process through coding. Employee of brackets in bracket branch you have to use. So this class is child class and this class is parent class. This child class inherited from branch only. So now, after doing inheritance, sir, which class object, if you create, you will get all the details. Obviously, child class object. Okay. So because, as I said, that in inheritance process, child class will get all features from parent class. So once we create object for child class, so that child class will bring automatically details of parent class. Simple logic. So let's try to create object for employee class here, because employee class is our child class. When we try to create object for employee class, then automatically you will get all the functionality access. But it doesn't mean that we should not create object for branch class, that is parent class. You can also create object for parent class also. But only the case is when we create object for parent class, you will get parent functionalities only. Means get branch data, display branch data only will get, not employee functionalities, child functionality. So in inheritance process, when we create object for child class, then you will get parent details automatically. So let's create object for child class equals to employee equals to employee. Now you can see, though if I create object for employee class here, when we use e dot get emp data is coming, or branch data is coming. Yes, branch data. Now you can see e dot get branch underscore data. It is branch class. Why we are getting branch class details? Because of inheritance. Even though I create object for employee class, through this employee class object we can get branch class functionality. The reason is inheritance only. If I remove inheritance once, you can see this. I'm not doing inheritance now. There is no inheritance individual classes, these two. But now this time we cannot get branch data like this. Only MP data is coming. So that is the possibility of inheritance. So let's do inheritance, open bracket, branch. After that, now you can see E equals to employee, then E dot get branch data, E dot get employee data. So we are getting branch details, employee details. At the same time, we are going to display branch data and display EMP data. So we are calling all the methods by using child class reference. That means child class object. So let's hit the run. So it will ask you branch code, branch name, branch address, employee code, employee name, employee address. So we got branch details as well as employee details. So together. So this is possible with inheritance clearly. So the person belongs to this branch. Total branch details and employee details together we are getting because of just inheritance only. This inheritance is nothing but single inheritance, we can say that at this moment. So whatever we have implementation in the parent class, this implementation directly we can access through child class object. Again, you need not to implement these functionalities again in the employee class. Directly we can access. This is single inheritance according to company requirement we implemented. Next, coming to this, later same company people, ex-company people are asking to computerize their employee salary details also. Okay, so requirement change. But first company initial requirement is this is I just implemented. But later the company requirement is what? They're asking to computerize their employee salary details also. Salary details. Employee salary details. So we have to create one more class that is called extensibility. Extensibility means adding extra classes with existing functionality. That is called extensibility. Inheritance advantage is extensibility as well as reusability aside. Okay. So now this is extensibility process. What I am trying to do, that is extensibility. So let's try to do extensibility. I'm adding new class. Now we can see because they're asking to computerize their employee salary details. I'm adding new class this is, and this class name is EMP salary, not employee, EMP salary class. This salary is inherited from this employee. So Later, they are asking to computerize their employee salary details, and they want to know which employee belongs to which branch also. Automatically, this class employee salary also will become what actually? Child class. This is the child class of its parent employee. This is also child class, employee class, also child class of its parent branch only. So this inheritance is called what you know? Multi-level inheritance. What is this? Multi-level. Creating creating new class from already 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 derived class. Creating new class from already derived class. Already derived class is called multi-level inheritance. Yes, employee class is already derived from where? Branch. But you are trying to create a new class from employee again. This is multi-level inheritance. Also, we can call it as extensibility feature. Extensibility means in the previous company requirement, we included employee class and branch class implementation only. Now we are extension like this. How to do extension? We'll see. So forget about this object creation. I'll bring back this. And we have to create one more class here additionally, third class EMP salary class, which is inherited from employee. So now, so first I'm taking get underscore sal, means get underscore sal is a method. You can take any name of method, and through this method I'm just asking basic salary self dot basic equals to input of int of input of enter basic salary. I'm taking enter basic salary. So user will enter the basic salary. Based upon the basic salary, I have to calculate some like DA, dearness allowance, HRA, house rental allowance, gross salary. These all I want to calculate. So I'm taking calculate method. So in this calculate method, what I'm trying to do? DF underscore DF calculate of self. So in this case, what I'm trying to do here, calculation self dot DA, dearness allowance equals to self dot basic into 0.03 I'm taking. Self dot basic into 0.03. So this calculation up to you, any calculation you can take. Self dot HRA, house rental allowance equals to self dot basic into 0.4 I'm taking. At the same time, self dot gross equals to self dot basic plus self dot DA plus self dot HRA. Self dot HRA. This is what total gross salary. So how to calculate gross? So basic and DA plus HRA, all the things are gross only here, calculate function through. Next, after that, we have to display salary details. So DF, display salary details, display sal. And here print. So basic is, comma, self dot basic. Print DA is, comma, self dot DA. Then print HRA is, comma, self dot HRA. Okay, self dot HRA. Print gross is self dot gross like this. Okay, this is so display sal basic DA HRA gross. Self dot basic, self dot DA, self dot HRA, self dot gross clear. Display salary here, self. Okay, so calculate and display salary and get salary. This is employee salary things. Now we have to go to object creation. Now you can see totally three classes are there here. In previous example, we have two classes, but in the two classes, what we did only just uh, branch and employee. At that time, we create object for which class? Employee class. Now this time two classes are included here. So according to inheritance rule, so you need to create object for last child class, then only you will get all the details of base classes. So we should create object for now, employee salary class now. Let's try to create object for employee salary. So here employee salary object I'm trying to create equals to EMP salary. So once we create object for employee salary class, then using this object, we can access these functionalities and employee class functionalities and branch class functionality. So E dot first I'm taking, what we can say, get branch data. E dot get employee data. E dot get sal. E dot calculate first. Then next display start I'm doing. E dot display EMP data, the branch data, display branch data, E dot display EMP data, and E dot display sal, display sal. Let's run this. Now you can see enter branch code. Branch code is this one. Branch name is SR Nagar. Branch address is Hyderabad. And enter employee ID. Employee ID is 1234. Employee name is any name. Employee address is Amirpet. And employee basic salary I'm using here. So basic salary 26,850 rupees. Basic it is, assume that. In that basic, remaining calculation takes place here. So I entered 26,850 basics. This is into 0. How much it is I did? Basic 0.03, that is DA, dearness allowance. That is 805. And HRA means 1074.0. And gross is what? Actually 38,395.0 here. This is gross. Okay. So this is gross salary, HRA, DA, basic, employee details, branch details. All together we are getting, this is called multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance means creating new class from already derived class. This is called multi-level inheritance. We can call it that. That's all. Next, coming to this, in the multi-level inheritance is okay. Now coming to this, next inheritance is hierarchical inheritance is there. Hierarchical inheritance means what, sir, actually? So hierarchical inheritance means creating multiple child classes from single base class or from single parent class. Single parent class. This is called hierarchical inheritance. Creating multiple child classes from creating multiple child classes from single parent class. Single parent means this is. So this is up to here single inheritance. This total is, what is this? Multi-level inheritance. Now I'm talking about hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance means one parent, multiple childs. Now you can see here, this is child and this is also child, sir. This is also child. So one parent, multiple childs. This child is inherited from same parent and this child also inherited from same parent. This child also inherited from same parent. Now here I'm taking parent class, just observe here. And here I'm including child 1, child 1, child 1. And here I'm including child 2, just I'm taking child 2 here, child 2. So child 1, child 2 are inherited from what? Parent only. Okay, this is child 1, child 2 are inherited from parent. So this is hierarchical inheritance. Creating multiple child classes from single parent is called hierarchical inheritance. Creating multiple child classes from single parent. Child 1, child 2, multiple childs, these two are. But from where I'm creating single parent only. This is called what? Hierarchical inheritance. Let's implement this. Add one class. Test 15 I'm taking. Test 15. In this test 15 I'm taking class. Class name is what? Just actually parent. Directly I'm taking parent. Parent. df. What we have? one function I'm taking. Okay, P1 function I'm taking. P1 means parent function. It's a function name. Just I'm taking parent class function. Next, I'm creating child1. Child1 is my class name, which is inherited from what? Parent. Now def C1 is my child class function. It's a function name. Print child1 class function. Class child2, child2, parent. Def C2. Print child2 class function. Child2 class function. So child1, child2 are both are inherited from where? One parent. So one parent is having multiple child classes. Now, in this case, which class object we have to create? Only child1 or only child2? And child1, child2, both objects we have to create. Tell me. So child1 is inherited from parent. Child2 also inherited from parent. So obviously, we have to create object for child class. So you should create object for both child classes if you want to get parent class functionality of through child only. So this is hierarchical inheritance, creating multiple child classes from single parent. Yes, we are creating multiple child classes from single parent, that is child1, child2 are inherited from single parent, parent only. Let's create object for child1. Obj1 is my object name equals to child1 I'm taking. Okay, obj1 dot what I'm taking? P1. Yes, this object can able to access parent class function because child1 is inherited from parent only. Obj1 dot C1 like that. Let's create object 2 for child2, child2 like this, child2. Obj2 dot P1, obj2 dot C2 like this, C2. obj2 object2 equals to child2, obj2 dot P1, obj2 dot C2 like this one. Okay, so using our child class object one, we can access parent function, we can access its own class function. Again, same child2 object also we can access parent function and child2 function also. So how many childs are there? Each child can able to access this P1 functionality. It's a common to all childs because this child is inherited from parent, this child to also inherited from parent. So this is what hierarchical inheritance, we can call it as hierarchical inheritance. Parent class function, child1 class function, parent class function, child2 class function. Okay. So object 1 through we are accessing parent class function and its own function like child1 class function. Object 2 parent class function and child2 class function like this. Okay. Next, in the same example, I want to tell you two important functions. Okay. I want to tell you two important functions. What are the important functions? Look at here. Especially these are inheritance related functions only. That's what I'm including here. Function number 1 is instance, is instance, is instance, is subclass, is subclass, is instance, is a subclass, is instance, is subclass. What is instance method? Just is instance method is used to check. Is instance method is used to check whether the object is an instance of particular class or not. Particular class or not, we can check. Okay, whether the object is instance method is used to check whether the object is an instance of particular class or not, it will check. Whether object is an instance of particular class or not, it will check. Is subclass method. is used to check. Is subclass method is used to check whether the class is a subclass, whether the class is a subclass of particular class or not. Is subclass method is used to check whether the class is a subclass of particular class or not. We can check particular class or not. We can check. Is instance method is subclass method. So is instance method is used to check whether the object is an instance of particular class or not. Is subclass method is used to check whether the class is subclass of a particular class or not. We can check just for checking on. So we'll create many classes. In that, some of the parent classes are there and some of them are child classes are there. But if you want to check whether the class is subclass of particular class or not, or whether the object is an instance of particular class or not, if you want to check, then we can go for is instance is subclass methods only. These are inheritance related. Let's go for is instance method first. See here, I'm not calling this E1 method a C1 method, all those things, just for checking. So object 1 is child 1. Object 1 is for child 1. Object 2 is for child 2. Sir, it is for sure. Let me check is instance. So is instance of obj1 is an object of child 1. Yes, of course. Is instance is a built-in function of obj1 is my object, comma child 1. Means, do you think this object 1 is the instance of child 1? Yes, sir, child 1, correct. So obviously it is correct. So we got the details here. True. It written boolean only, true or false. Is instance of obj1 dot obj1 comma child 1? Yes, sir. Object 1 is an instance of child 1 only. Correct. Suppose object 1 is an instance of child 2? Not correct. Not correct. Now let's run this. Object 1 is not instance of child 2. Object 1 is not instance of child 2 only. So object 2 is an instance of child 2? Yes, exactly. Object 2 is an instance of child 2. We create object 2 for child 2 class only. That is correct. Now tell me the question if I am asking like this. Obj1, comma, parent class. Is this true or false? What you are expecting? Object 1 is an instance of parent class. Object 1 is instance of parent class. True or false? Object 1 is instance of child 1. That is okay. I'm asking object 1 is instance of parent class. True. Exactly. True, that is. The reason is object 1 is which class reference? Child 1. But child 1 is also inherited from what? Parent. So child 1, child 2 objects are instance of parent class also, because these two classes are inherited from parent class. Got my point? So print is instance of object 1 comma parent. That is true. At the same time, object 2 comma parent. Print is instance of object 2 comma parent. This is also true, sir. Like this. Object 2 is instance of parent 2. Object 1 is also instance of parent 2. And child object 1 is instance of child 1. Object 2 is instance of child 2. So object 2 is an instance of child 1. Not correct. Because this is object of child 2, but you are saying child 1. It's not correct. So this is instance method purpose. Is instance method is a built-in method, especially which is used to work with inheritance topics. Like this method is used to check whether the object is an instance of particular class or not. We can check. If the object is an instance of particular class, then it return true. Otherwise, simply it return what? False only, sir. Next, similarly, is subclass method. Is subclass method is used to check whether the class is subclass of particular class or not. We can check whether the class is subclass of particular class or not. Let me check this example. So is subclass method, is subclass. So is subclass method means first we have to pass subclass child1. This child1 is subclass of parent class. Child1 is the subclass. Is that subclass of parent1 or parent class? Yes, obviously. Child1 is the subclass of parent. Correct. Child2 is the subclass of parent. Child2. Child2 is the subclass of parent. Yes, sir. Child2 is also subclass of parent. Obviously, it is correct. So this is the subclass of this class. Parent is the superclass of child1, child2. Suppose here I am asking child1 is the subclass of child2. Child1 is the subclass of child2? No. These two are subclasses only. So child1, child2 are not parent and child relation with them. Child1 is a subclass, child2 is also a subclass. Both are subclasses. We can't say child1, child2 both are each which related with each other, which is with each other. Okay. Child2 is the subclass of parent. This is correct now. Child1 is a subclass of parent. Child2 is a subclass of parent. All the things are correct. Okay. So these two methods are available in the instance checking whether object is an instance of particular class or not, whether class is subclass of particular class or not. We can check by using these two methods. And especially these two methods are worked with inheritance concept only. So this is single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance like this. And what is multiple inheritance now? Multiple inheritance is the process of multiple inheritance is the process of multiple inheritance is the process of creating new class from two or more base classes. Two or more base classes. It is the process of creating what? Multiple inheritance is the process of creating new class from two or more base classes. This is multiple inheritance. Let's change the scenario. Multiple inheritance means both base level like this. Okay, base level two or more base classes. Here base classes two. What are them? A and B. So I'm creating here. This child class is inherited from both parent. Suppose class A here, and then class B here, then class C here, class C. So A, B are parent classes. C is child classes. So this C is coming from A and B parent. Creating new class C class from two or more base classes A and B like this. But in other languages, like especially Java as well as C#.NET programming, so multiple inheritance not possible because they should use compulsory at base level in interface concept. Without using interface concept, we can't include multiple inheritance in C#.NET and Java. But in Python, when it comes to Python, there is no interface concept is required because multiple inheritance completely implemented based on an algorithm called MRO. MRO means method resolution order. Method resolution order. Using this order, method resolution order, okay, MRO technique, method resolution order, multiple inheritance implemented. So what is this order, sir? Suppose if base classes are having same functionalities, A and B, which class priority will give first? Which class function will give priority first? The priority always clockwise. Like first it will check into class A, that is first parent. In case the relevant function is not available in class A, that is in parent, then immediately next priority will give to what actually? Class B, that is parent, this parent. Consider the example here. F1 function is there, sir, here in A. Same F1 function also is here, sir. At that time, when we call c dot f1, c is the derived class only, no? Obviously, we have to create object for derived class, and derived class object through we have to call base class function f1 and f1. When we call c dot f1, what is the possibility to get this result? First priority goes to what? Class A only, clockwise. Then class A is having f1 function, it will call. In case if the class A don't have any f1 function, then first it will check in class A, f1 function is not there. If not there, then next priority will give to what? Class B only. This is called method resolution order. But in other programming languages, like as I said, that C# and Java, if both classes are having same function called f1 and f1, there will be ambiguity situation. Ambiguity means confusion state. So that's what in those languages multiple inheritance not possible to implement. But when it comes to Python, multiple inheritance is clearly possible because there is no ambiguity. Method resolution order implemented here. So the order is always clockwise. First priority will give to class A, left hand side, the function will call. If the function is not available, then immediately next priority goes to class B. This is. So I'll talk about this thing in tomorrow's session clearly, multiple inheritance, how to implement. So as well as hybrid inheritance also we'll discuss. And also constructor role in inheritance also we have to discuss. Total we'll discuss in tomorrow.